Today I learned how to share files to Windows computers from my Linux computer, which are on the same network. And today I thought I'd share with you guys what I learned. So it turns out there's a platform or program called Samba that allows you to share files, folders, and even printers on your Linux with Windows machines. And so today we're going to install Samba on the Linux, and then we can share some files to this computer and this computer as well. All right, so the first step is going to be installing Samba. Now what I'm going to do, because I have to have one hand working the mouse and one hand working this camera, I'm going to just be copy and pasting commands into the terminal here on Linux. So this is and it's going to be interesting because I have two mouses, one for this computer and one for this Linux. Actually, side note, a friend of mine who set me up with most of this equipment gave me what's called a KVM, so I can just hit this button and it will actually switch between this monitor and this monitor, this computer and this computer. And instead of me having to unplug the mouse and unplug the keyboard, because I only have one keyboard. But anyway, KVMs, those are handy. So yeah, I'm going to be copying and pasting commands in here, and let's roll. So this is the installing Samba on the Linux. So here's the command, sudo apt update. And when you copy and paste more than one command line, once it's done the first one, it just pastes the next one, which is pretty cool. Okay, so the installation is done. Now I'm going to make a folder on the Linux, and this is all going to be doing this all through the terminal. Set up a guest user and give it permissions. So I'll just copy and paste that in there. And so that's making the folder. That's creating a user and a group, and that's giving it permissions, I believe. Now this nobody and no group, I had to look that up. That's basically just what Linux calls a guest user account and a guest user group, the nobody and no group, which I thought was interesting. So this is basically going to make a folder that anyone can access that's on this network. Okay, and just to show you guys, here's the admin section and here's the shared folder that was just created. Okay, so now I have to configure Samba. So I'm going to copy and paste the command, and the command was, oh, here it is. I'll just show you right over here. Sudo nano, I guess that means etc. I don't know, Samba smb.conf, and that essentially opens up this. Yes. All right, so here's the configuration file for Samba. Now I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Oh, look, it already has it in there. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down to the bottom of the configuration file for Samba, and you're going to create this. So you type shared, and you hit space, go to a new line, hit space 3 times, and type this. So this is so you can find it, you can write to it. I don't know what this one means. Read only, no, force user, so that's the guest user. And I think you can create files, and this is you can create sub files. So like I said, scroll down to the bottom of the configuration file and then type this in to the Samba configuration file. So I should probably mention in detail what these are. So the guest OK allows access without a password. So it just essentially allows anyone that's a guest on the network without having to use a username or password. And all the files just belong to the user that's created the guest user. They call it a neutral nobody account. And again, the create mask and directory mask is ensuring the files are writable for everyone or by everyone. Okay, so now we're going to restart Samba and then install Samba client tools, and then we're going to list the shares that we created. So this is restart. Like nothing will happen, which means that's good. And then, oops, install Samba client tools. So mine was already installed, but that's the that's how you do that. Install client tools. And now we will list the share. So that share we created in the configuration file. All right, so there it is. That's that shared we created from the configuration file that had the neutral nobody guest account, the allowing of the access without a password, and we created the writable folders and files. Okay, so the next step is to get your IP address that belongs to your Linux. Now what you do is you type in IP adder show and hit enter. Now it comes up with a bunch of information about any connections you have for this computer, like wireless or any other Ethernet connections. No, I'm not going to hit enter because I'm still pretty new to this. I'm not sure if there's information on there that I shouldn't be showing on here, but this will give you your IP address. And just make sure, hold on, maybe I'll move the camera over here. Right, so you're looking for, I can just, for me it's this connection. I think this means Ethernet. Where's my finger? Ethernet. And essentially it's, so that's mine, that's my IP address. Okay. I hope that was okay to show. But anyway, you want to look up your IP address by using the IP adder show command. Okay, so we're done with the Linux setup, and now we're going to see if we can see the shared folder from our Windows machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new folder window or a file explorer window. I'm going to go up to the address bar, which is right beside quick access. You go over here and click that, and then you type // as you see, I have some quick access here, and you go // and then the IP address of your Linux, and followed by another /. And there is our shared folder. All right, so now we're going to create a file on the Windows machine inside the shared folder, and then we're going to open it up on our Linux and see if we can play around with it. All right, so open up the shared folder, right click, go to new text document. We're going to call this test. Oh, I hit the wrong keyboard again. Test. Hit enter. And then we're going to go over to Linux here. Oh, how do I do show desktop? There we go. And we're going to open that up. Go to our shared. And there it is, test. There's the Windows. There's the Linux. All right, now we're going to see if we can see it. Let's see if we actually have permissions to write to it and save it. Hello from Ubuntu. Go to save. So it's saved. I'm going to open it up over here. Hello from Ubuntu. Well done. Awesome. All right. Now we're going to say, oops. I have too many keyboards and mice. I'm flipping back and forth. Okay. Over here, we can say hello from Windows 10. Now let me see. I don't know if I've done this. I'm actually going to check a live update here. So I'm going to hit save on the Windows. Does that work? File, save. Maybe we'll close this, open it up again. Oh, there it is. Awesome. So that worked. Now I'm going to create a file on Linux and see if I can open it on this Windows here. Now I'm going to have to talk a bit louder because now that this tower is on, the fan's bumping and it's kind of loud. So same idea. Oh, you can see, check out this KVM. So mouse here, I click this button, mouse over here, very neat. All right, so same thing, create new blank file, we'll call it test2, whoops, test2.txt. Okay, so new file on Linux, KVM over here. Now up here, now I already did this before, so it's already in the address bar. So that's the IP address of the Linux. There's the shared folder. There's test2. Nothing in there, so we'll type hello from Windows 11. Oh, wrong mouse. File, save. I do want to replace it. Notepad, you do not have permission. Oh, this is interesting. So why doesn't this have permission to read and write? So there must be some permissions not granted for this Windows machine. So it can see it, but it can't edit it. Very interesting. So what happened was, when we made these changes in the configuration file for Samba, Windows 11 was still being served the old running Samba process, and it didn't know about the changes. So what I did was just run this. Just restarted Samba, and so when I restarted it, Windows was able to make a new file. So let's see. KVM. Let's try it out. New text document. Test 4. So we can create a document. Let's open it. That's right. Testing. 1, 2, 3. File. Save. All right, we didn't get an error. So that saved the file. Let's see if it's over here. Testing 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And just to make sure, oh, KVM. Let's go to the shared. Open this. There it is. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we ran into an issue where this was still running on the old Samba process that didn't have the updated configuration from this configuration file. And from what I read is that Windows 11 is a little more stricter about access to, what was it, the server message block. So once I restarted it, it was able to access the Linux as a guest and vice versa, and have those permissions to read and write and edit and delete and create. So if you ever run into that issue where, a couple of your machines do have read or write access, the configuration file seems okay, but one doesn't, just think of it as check the Samba status, check the configuration, and then just restart Samba and test again. And that's what we did today. All right, so this is how you set up Samba on your Linux so that your two Windows machines on a switch network can share folders and files.